History of Marine Science by Kimberly, Mia, and Adriana. Our time period is 1901 to 1950.
First up on our main characters list is William Beebe. Beebe was born in 1877, and he began with an interest in the jungle, but soon turned his interest towards the ocean. He embarked on many expeditions to the Galapagos Islands, where he hauled up deep-sea creatures in trawling nets. Beebe developed an interest in ocean diving and began to consider the possibility of diving with a deep-sea vessel to study these amazing creatures in their natural habitat. In 1928, he met a man named Otis Barton, who had been working on a design for a deep diving sphere. Beebe called this new device a bathysphere. Overall, Charles William Beebe was an American naturalist, ornithologist, marine biologist, entomologist, explorer, and author. Next up is Otis Barton. Otis Barton created the bathysphere in 1930 with William Beebe and conducted dive of his own in the Bahamas while working on the fictional film Titans of the Deep. He also wrote the book The World Beneath the Sea, published in 1953. After Otis Barton, there's Rachel Carson. Rachel Carson was born in 1907, and she was a scientist and writer who brought the wonders of the sea to people with her lyrical writings and observations about the sea. She was a biologist for the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service and devoted her spare time to translating science into writings that would infect the reader with her sense of wonder and respect for nature. She had many works published, such as Under Sea in 1937 and then Under the Sea Wind in 1941. These publications describe the sea and the life within it from a scientist's point of view, but in the words of a naturalist. In 1951, she published The Sea Around Us, which was a prize-winning bestseller on the history of the sea. The success of this book allowed her to resign from federal service and write full-time. Shortly after, her focus turned to the negative impact of pesticides, a cause to which she remained devoted to by fighting to raise public awareness until her death in 1964. Sylvia Earle, also known as her Deepness, is not really concentrated in the time period 1901 to 1950. However, she was born in 1905, and as a young girl, she was always fascinated with water. She began her career by studying marine botany because she believed that vegetation was the foundation of any ecosystem. She's an American oceanographer, aquanaut, former chief scientist of the National Oceanographic and Atmospheric Administration, and author of over 180 publications about marine science and technology. She's led over 100 expeditions and has received more than 100 national and international honors. She is also the founder of Mission Blue and Sea Alliance.
Dr. Hans Haas was born in 1919 and was always fascinated with water. In 1941, he developed the first underwater diving equipment, facilitating free movement on the ocean floor for longer periods of time. He is the founder of underwater diving, a sport practiced by millions today. He has shot numerous films, has written many books, has given lectures, and also has won many awards for his underwater photography. He also went on 2 long expeditions in the Pacific and Indian Oceans, and the data he collected from each trip went down in history. Along with that, he has made other great accomplishments past 1950.
Athelstan Svillehouse was born in South Africa in 1911. He invented the thermograph. He started the meteorology and oceanographic department at New York University and became the Dean of Science and Technology at the University in Minnesota. He supported the establishment of a Sea Grant University program for oceanographic education and research, developed the Minneapolis Skyway, got kids interested in science through the comic Our New Age, and helped design balloons to monitor atmospheric waves. He also was the first U.S. representative to the UN Educational, Scientific, and Cultural Organization, Commissioner to the Seattle World's Fair, President of the American Association for the Advancement of Science, and Fellow of the Woodrow Wilson International Center for Scholars, consultant to the National Oceanographic and Atmospheric Administration, and author of 11 books and 300 plus published articles. Tools and technology during the time period 1901 to 1950. First off is Scripps Institute of Technology and Woods Hole Oceanographic Institution. These were two higher education facilities that allowed students to conduct their research and study. 1914, an oscillator, which is a device for generating oscillatory electric currents or voltages by non-mechanical means, was used by Reginald Fessenden. 25, mapping the ocean floor was used through echo sounding equipment, or sonar, which was used to determine the depth of the water by transmitting sound waves into it. Next up is the bathysphere, which is a manned spherical vessel that is used for deep-sea observation, and it's lowered by a cable from a ship. In 1935, the sonobuoy was used for underwater acoustic research. This instrument eliminates the need for manned station ships during radioacoustic ranging navigation operations.
The bathymetry was used in 1937.
It looks like a small torpedo, and it holds a temperature sensor and a transducer to detect changes in water temperature. The aqualung in 1943 is known as the modern scuba system. It allows divers to stay underwater for extended periods and more effectively explore the ocean realm. Bathyscape, also known as FRNS-2, was used in 1948, and it was the first untethered craft to carry people into the deep waters of the ocean.
The main marine discoveries from 1901 to the 1950s are that on April 27, 1914, a Canadian inventor, Reinhold Fessenden, used an oscillator to bounce sound waves between an iceberg and the seafloor. This test was the beginning of the acoustic exploration of the ocean. Another main marine discovery was that in 1925, a German vessel, Meteor, sails around the Atlantic Ocean. The vessel was taking notes on measurements of the ocean floor using an echo-sounding equipment. During the voyage, they found new information on how the ocean floor is shaped and structured. Also, another main marine discovery was that in 1934, the first deep ocean dive occurred with William Beebe and Otis Barton when they went on a deep-sea expedition in a tethered sphere known as the bathysphere. They reached a depth of 3,000 feet off the coast of Bermuda and discovered an unseen world of bizarre and luminescent creatures.
Which route did they cover? William Beebe and Otis Barton went to the Bermuda off of the Atlantic coast and performed their deep dive. The German vessel called the Meteor crisscrossed the South Atlantic for 2 years on their route. The routes Reginald Fessenden used was based off of a network of lighthouses to create a system of underwater bells along the coast of North America, Europe, and Asia. Fun facts about marine biology. William Beebe had trained himself in taxidermy and published his first article in high school about a bird called the brown creeper. He also worked later in life in the Galapagos. Scripps Institution has become one of the world's largest and oldest leading institutions of oceanography. William Beebe and Otis Barton's record depth of 3,028 feet wasn't broken until 1948 when Barton made a bathyspheric dive to 4,500 feet and was able to observe deep-sea life instead of in a specimen jar.